everybody and welcome back. I hope you're doing really well. Today I'm doing a little bit of a women's health video. I'm going to be talking about cervical screening. So if that is not your jam, I have about 200 and something videos that you might be interested in. So please feel free to switch off, but go and watch something else just in case. And also just give this video a thumbs up anyway, because it will help boost the content and show it to someone who may need it. I have been debating whether to film a video like this for some time, but I asked you if you wanted a video and you said yes. And also I know that when I had my first cervical screening test, I would have loved to have been able to watch a video and watch someone like myself explain it and put me at ease. So hopefully that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to be talking about cervical screening. It might be called a pap smear, or it might be called a smear test, whatever it's called in your country. Let me know down below because I'd be interested. So what is a cervical smear test? Well, it is a test where they put a swab up around your cervix. They take a swab to detect for the HPV virus. It's not a test for cancer, it's a test for the HPV cells, because these over time can manifest and become quite serious. So if they are detected very, very early, treatment can be given and you can be kept an eye on before anything more serious comes. In the UK, all women and people with cervix from the ages of 25 to about 64 are invited for a smear test every 3 years. That's usually sent by a letter from your GP. If the HPV virus is not found, then there is no more further treatment and you wait for another 3 years to be invited again. If there are any abnormal cells found, then you may be invited back for a little bit more testing. Once you have had your smear test, you would normally get a letter within 2 weeks. And just because we have the current situation here doesn't mean that you don't have to go for your cervical screening test. Cervical screening tests are still going ahead, and when I went I felt very safe and it was fine. So I will talk you through my experience. So when you need to phone up and book your appointment, you can explain to them that you have a disability. Make sure you talk about your needs. Now, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, because when I started talking about it on social media, I was inundated with many messages from people saying to me that they haven't been able to access a screen for, I think some person said like 12 years, due to lack of accessibility, which I think in 2021 is completely unacceptable. And this is something that I would like to work towards a change. So bear with, Jen is on the case. But yes, when you make your appointment, explain your needs, explain that you may need extra time, and explain that you may need an extra large room. So when I went in, I had an extra large room and they had booked me a double appointment just to give me a little bit extra time to get things on and off and up and down, if you get my drift. Now, it's a horrible thing and no one really wants to do it. It's very sort of, you know, involving a very private area. Don't be embarrassed, because the nurses that do this, they see so many fruits. They see fruits all day, every day. Good fruits, bad fruits, little fruits, big fruits. There are a lot of fruits going around. They're used to it. The lady I saw was absolutely lovely. They are trained to help you be relaxed, and they are trained to put any of your concerns at rest. So when I went in for my appointment, she sat down and she explained everything that she was going to do. She asked me if I had any concerns or any problems, and we had chats about this, that and the other. And then she told me to make my way over to the examination bed, and the bed was height adjustable, which was great, so I was able to do a side transfer. It's very important to be open and honest and explain if you've got any pain or you're uncomfortable in any way. day. When I transferred onto the bed, my hip started to spasm up and was very, very painful. So I had to explain that that was happening and we had to let that pass. Then obviously I can't hold my legs up, so she just let them flop, so they just flopped out completely like a little frog, and she moved my legs in the positions that they need to be in. Tip for you, I just wore very stretchy sweatpants so I could pull them down, and I left my shoes on and transferred onto the bed, so all I had to do was just pull the bottom half down. What I also did was I took my own blanket or towel just to put over me here. I've had a few smear tests now, and they just give you a little bit of paper towel, and I feel very naked. But they said it's fine if you want to take in your own blanket or towel. So I did, which made me feel a lot more secure. I also explained to my nurse that my coping mechanism is to just lay here with my hands over my eyes and just breathe. You can take in your own music if you want to, but try to be relaxed, because when I got tense, I could feel that I got tense, and it doesn't help. So I tried to stay as calm as possible. And I think being able to talk and be very, very open with the nurse made it a lot more comfortable. You know, just explaining to her, she was like, oh dear, that's fine. She was a lovely Irish lady, and she was like, oh, that's fine, you do whatever you want to do. Sorry, Irish people out there, I'm sure that was terrible. So they do put a speculum inside your vagina and open it up to take the swabs, and you can actually request to have a smaller one if it is painful. And it's always very important to remember that you are in charge and you can stop at any time. It's quite normal to have a little bit of bleeding after your smear test, but if there is more or prolonged blood afterwards, then it's definitely worth contacting your GP, or if there's anything that you're worried about, then just contact your GP straight away. I had a little bit of spotting, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit uncomfortable, do you know what I mean? Ooh, a little bit sore, but there you go. It is going to save lives. It might save my life at the end of the day. So my test literally took less than 3 minutes. It was over and done with really, really quickly. And then the nurse just quickly left me behind the curtain, and I was able to pull my bits and bobs up and transfer easily back into my wheelchair. You are able to take a chaperone or a carer, or you can ask for another person to be present when you have your smear test if you want to, but I was able just to go on my own. And I have to say, overall it was a very, very positive experience, which is why I feel quite happy and confident in sharing it with you today. I do have a friend who had cervical cancer in her mid-20s, so it's very important to me to get tested, and I would urge anybody to get tested. And if you're having problems accessing your smear test, then please speak up and fight. Scope is also a very good charity who can help you as well. Also, if transferring is an issue, you could potentially check out my video on the transfer sling. I think I do talk about the fact that it could be used for cervical smear tests as well, so I'd be interested to know what you think about that. Now, if there are any concerns or any worries that you have, if you go onto the NHS website, there are some charities that can help you if you're struggling with the idea of having a smear test, or you're struggling with your smear test. There is Joe's Trust. There is also some information on there for people with learning difficulties. There is also support for people in the LGBTQ+ community, and there's also support for any people who have suffered any sexual violence. So I will leave that linked down below, so you can go and check that out if you need to. So that was my experience for my smear test. If you have any questions, then please feel free to drop them down below. I'm not an expert or a specialist in this subject. It's literally a YouTuber sharing her experience. Whoa. Wild. And I wanted to do it because obviously I want as many people to be able to access cervical screening as possible. And if it's not an access issue and it's an embarrassment issue, then please don't be. It could save your life, and no one wants to die of embarrassment. That's it for today. I guess that's it. So make sure to give me a thumbs up if you're still here. Subscribe for more videos, and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!